Well, at least the show started hot. I'm Charles Renton with my review of AEW Rampage. The rest of the show was honestly a bit of a mixed bag. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, please. Excalibur and Taz starting on commentary, joined later by Ricky Starks. And they have great chemistry as a commentary trio, like on Dark. And there was another aspect of this show that reminded me of an episode of Dark. More on that later. Bryan Danielson versus Nick Jackson with Matt Jackson and Brandon Cutler in his corner. And I wondered, how much of a magician is Bryan? Can he make me tolerate a singles Bucks match? Because I have, praised the Bucks when they've impressed me and, gone far and above what I feel is just their normal shtick. I did enjoy the steel cage match they had against the Lucha Bros. I enjoyed the Revolution 2020 match they had against Omega and Page, and I recognize they're great athletes, and I do understand why a lot of people like their matches. A lot of their matches feel the same to me, but they do have some standout moments, and I was interested to see how Bryan was going to work with Nick. Obviously, there was going to be some comedy. There was some Bucks comedy. I don't really care for the comedy on being the elite. It's just not for me. I know it's for some people. It's just not for me. Nick does spray himself at one point with the cold spray because Cutler cold spray, that's probably going to end up being on a shirt at some point because every other goddamn thing's on a shirt with AEW. I did like the I have till 5 ref line from Bryan because Bryan is just really enjoying himself. The crowd did chant, "You're going to get your fucking head kicked in," or yeah, "You're going to get your fucking head kicked in." That's a really hard thing to chant. It's even a hard thing to say. The hammerlock and the arm isn't meant to bend that way. Interference during the break because, of course, behind the ref's back because they have the corpse ref there. Seriously, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but that referee is so goddamn ineffective. One of the worst referees that they got going, and one of the worst referees of the last 30 years. He's so ineffective. Just, honestly, I get why, because the Bucks can just do whatever the fuck they want because he's their friend, but it's so fucking stupid and takes me out of a lot of their matches. So anyway, Bryan took the kicks and then spit at Nick and then did kicks of his own. There was a couple super kicks for 2. Into the label lock to the ropes. We get a kick to the post, German on the apron, the hardest part of the ring, and then Cutler and Matt got knocked down, Tiger suplex, and then the cattle mutilation and utterly ridiculous submission for the win, and Bryan Danielson gets the tap out while Nick taps his own ass. Have fun on seeing that. And then, of course, we get, the Elite, and Jurassic Express, thankfully without the goddamn midget, and Christian Cage, who has been totally fucking marginalized. Not that I thought he was going to be doing a ton of shit, but my fucking goodness, any of the luster he had was just immediately shined off like a month in. He's settling into a role of being kind of mid-card. It is what it is. I'm not saying he should have been AEW World Champion for 3 years, but boy, this whole big free agent signing ain't really working out, is it? But that being said, they had a bit of a brawl. Omega and Cole got locked in dueling submissions. Omega in the label lock and Cole in the snare trap. And there we go. Then we go to a pre-tape where Hobbs and Hook! Well, Hook's just standing there with his glorious hair. Stop thinking about it, Noah. If you're watching, I know you're... Stop it. Get some help. All the hookers are out. That's what his fans are actually calling themselves. They're calling themselves hookers. Whatever. I'm not here to judge. It's just a bit of an odd name. So anyway, Starks is in a lavish place. He knocks Cage, calling him cornball, and Ricky Starks is really fucking good on the mic. Great in the ring, great on the mic. If something happens where he doesn't want to wrestle another 5 to 10 years or whatever and just do commentary, he's going to be great at that. This guy's got a fucking gift. He's got the gift of gab. He's tremendous. And then Ricky joins commentary for the rest of the show. Punk pre-tape where he mentions facing Darby, surviving Willie Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs, and how happy he is to be back. Nap time is always on the menu. Some really good lines here. You can tell the Punk is motivated. And I don't know how long he's going to be there. I imagine probably a year and a half. I would imagine by 2024. This time in 2024, he's probably going to be done. But that being said, let's enjoy it while he's there. And then we get the 3-way. Oh my. Jade with Sterling Archer versus Nyla with Vicky Guerrero. The useless trash heap that she is. Vicky, not Nyla. I love Nyla. And Thunder Rosa, one of my favorite wrestlers in the fucking world. And my first words written on here was, how good of a magician is Thunder Rosa? Can Thunder Rosa basically make it, or hide the fact that Jade cannot work a long goddamn match at all? Not yet. Jade has a perfect look. She looks like $1 million. She carries herself like a star. You can tell she's humble, but she exudes that confidence. Then the bell rings. This was sad. Layla Hirsch really fucking exposed her, not in that way, but exposed her as not being able to have a long match. And that's not even her fault. Nobody's going to get this right away. Not everybody's Kurt Angle or this kind of stuff, or coming from an MMA background, some people have to be trained from scratch and built from the ground up, so it takes a bit. But god damn, some parts of this were rough. Now, when Rosa and Nyla were fighting, that was fine. Nyla and Jade were fighting, okay, it was what it was, because Nyla's a beast, and no, that's not a play on words. She can do some stuff. But good fucking grief, Jade needs a lot of fucking work. A lot. I would put her on Dark. I would have her in Universal Studios to hone her craft for a while. Bring her up occasionally if you need to for pre-tapes or whatever, but just she is not ready to be on pay-per-view at all. She's barely ready to be on cable TV. And back from break, it was amazing. They managed to get 2 Vickies there. They had Jade holding Vicky in the ring, and then Vicky was out there on the floor. Of course, I kid, because there was a trash can outside the ring and a trash can inside the ring. With all that screaming, Eddie probably is in a better place right now. So anyway, and I love Eddie, but goddamn, dealing with that screeching goddamn stupid bitch. So, moving hastily on from something I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for. Ugh. Table powerbomb. Rosa tried to cover her outside because that took a lot. As strong as Thunder Rosa is and as, well as Nyla can work, that's still a lot of weight to throw. And Rosa was tired out. And then Jade hit her with some of the weakest goddamn chair shots I've seen. Now, I don't want her to actually lay this shit in, but goddamn, she could have hit the mat 3 feet away and somehow hit Thunder Rosa more than she did. But at least it didn't look like she was hitting her. And then she covers her 1, 2, 3. Doesn't pin Nyla, because Nyla gets beat by everybody. She can get beat by Riho, can't get beat by Jade. Thunder Rosa, who's been on a goddamn tear on Dark Elevation and doing some really good stuff and had a killer match with Britt Baker, DMD, on Dynamite, that Lights Out match, one of my favorite matches of the year, despite the fact hardcore, you wouldn't think I would like it. I did like it, but goddamn, she gets pinned by Jade. Thanks for coming, Thunder Rosa. I mean, Thunder Rosa is obviously going to continue to be featured and stuff like that. One loss doesn't immediately negate any of the progress she made. Fuck. If I'm being too harsh on Jade, I'm sorry. It's just, this is a project of 2 to 3 years. And if they try to hotshot this thing, it's not going to work. So, Malachi talks about Cody spewing the black mist. Hopefully it got in, it came from the heart. Hopefully it got into his soul. Paying the toll and all that. Then we get a split screen where Mark Henry's lost. Mark Henry's signing to AEW. I'm happy he's getting paid. Whew. They probably should just let him host a goddamn radio show and just not do comment. I don't know. I don't think this is working. I'm happy he's... whatever. Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans with Matt Hardy. Hair versus hair match. This is your main event. Now, I understand it's later in the day and they want to, put a hot match on to excite the crowd. Maybe get him to stick around. But fucking hell. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Orange Cassidy, but he can work. I'm still not a fan of the gimmick. The shin kicks, all that stuff. It's not for me. Jack Evans, he is what he is. He's been what he's been for 15 fucking years. This was not good. We get dives and it's kept going. Later, the Hardy family orifice shows up. And then Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Chris Statlander. My goodness, Chris Statlander showing up. And then we get more stable stuff because the rest of the Hardy family orifice shows up. And then the Dark Order shows up. Orange Punch 1, 2, 3. And Evans gets shaved. Well, Matt says, no, this is for the greater good. The greater good. Shut it. And then Matt, and then they announced, they got various matches for Dynamite. I'll just give a rundown here at the end of that. That was the end of Rampage. Sammy versus Bobby Fish. Hopefully Bobby Fish minds his P's and especially Q's, if you know what I mean. And then they got that match, which actually ought to be pretty good, technically. A couple other matches, and then they got Matt Hardy, Pac, however you say it, Andrade, Archer, Mox, and Orange Cassidy, plus a Joker card, and a casino ladder match, and the winner gets a guaranteed AEW World Title shot. The Joker's probably going to be Adam Hangman Page, as JR says, and Page is going to go to Full Gear and beat Omega. Maybe. I don't know. It could be Bryan, but Bryan kind of seems, embroidered in having this feud where he's going to take out the Elite, and I don't think Bryan needs a belt. They got to try and heat this thing back up with Page in a month for Full Gear because, let's see, about this point, yeah, it's going to be about a month, 5 weeks. They got to really heat this shit up. And hopefully this stuff works with Page. And if Page doesn't come back because he's still taking time with his wife and he's not going to be back to win the championship for a while, that's fine. I think Paige should be the Joker. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.